What are you doing at my home? It's a mess. Please just go.
I'm here to help, Jill. These thorns shouldn't be your prison.
I'm not a prisoner. I just can't fight them anymore. Why help me? Everyone else just walks by and ignores
Because you
me.
matter. No one deserves to be hidden and forgotten.
I haven't seen a friendly face in years. Thank you for staying.
When I first stepped onto the cracked sidewalk and saw Jill standing there, a tiny figure in a deep blue cardigan, leaning heavily on her dark wooden cane. The weight of her isolation hit me like a physical blow. She looked at me with eyes that were clouded by years of being ignored. And her first words were a defensive plea for me to just go away because she was too ashamed of the mess her life had become. It is a straight-up gut punch to the soul to witness a woman who has spent 79 years on this earth now feeling like a prisoner behind a wall of thorns and overgrown brush that she simply no longer has the strength to fight. As I told her that those thorns shouldn't be her prison, I could see the wall she had built around her heart begin to crumble, placed by a raw vulnerability that was heartbreaking to witness. She told me she wasn't a prisoner, but her voice trailed off as she looked at the suffocating vines. Silent admission that she had lost her battle with the yard and her connection to the world long ago. The property was a total disaster zone of invasive shrubs, dry stalks of brown grass, and a rusted chain-link fence that looked like it was struggling to hold back the tide of neglect. The city had seen fit to send her fines for the overgrowth, but in all those months of struggle, not a single person had ever stopped to ask if she needed a hand, or even if she was still alive. As I gripped the handle of my brush cutter and the engine roared to life, shattering the heavy and stagnant silence of her trapped existence. I saw Jill flinch before she realized that the sound wasn't a threat, but a promise of liberation. Every aggressive pass I made through the thick woody stalks and every layer of grime I scraped from the hidden walkway felt like I was physically pulling her back from the edge of her own despair, proving that she still belonged to this community. The air began to fill with the sharp scent of green sap and turned soil, a sensory roadmap I prayed would tell her that the season of her loneliness was finally drawing to a close. I could feel the invisible gaze of the neighborhood watching from behind their curtains. The same people who had walked past her struggle every day. And it gave me a fierce drive to work until my hands were raw, just to show them that one person with a heart can change everything. As the front porch finally emerged from its tomb of weeds and the surrounding path was cleared for the first time in years, the yard seemed to transform from a neglected ruin into a sanctuary, where a woman could finally sit and breathe without feeling like she was being swallowed alive. Jill walked toward me when I was done, her hand trembling as she touched the cleared railing. And for the first time since I arrived, the shadow of pain in her eyes seemed to lift, replaced by a tearful spark of genuine human connection. I realized then that I wasn't just performing pro bono landscaping, I was restoring the dignity of a woman who thought she had been forgotten by time. And I was giving her a reason to look out her window and smile again. Before you scroll past this, please drop a comment with the city you are watching from, because elders like Jill deserve our presence and our care, not our silence when they are fighting the battle of their lives. If you saw a woman whose world had been stolen by the very garden she once loved, would you have the heart to step up and prove to her that she is not alone? Like and share this to remind the world that we do not leave our neighbors behind in the shadows. And today, we finally delivered a bit of hope and light back into Jill's weary heart. She spent her life caring for others, so today we made sure the community finally gave back to her in the way she needed most. Faith in humanity is officially restored. We're going to keep fighting until no one else has to feel like a ghost in their own home. Today, Jill didn't just get a clean yard. She got her freedom back and the knowledge that she is seen, she is valued, and she is loved. Seeing her stand on that porch in the sunlight was the greatest reward I could have ever asked for. And it reminded me that a clear path is sometimes all it takes to find your way back to hope. We showed her that even when the weeds grow tall, there is always someone willing to pick up a tool and clear the way. What is the one thing you can do today to make an elderly neighbor feel like they truly belong to the world again?